Hello guys and girls, this is Kentucky. This time let's take a closer look on the Holy Paladin in the Battle for Azeroth beta server. So start with the abilities, what's changed and what not. This is one of the least changed class in the game now, so I will only mention the important changes, or the skills that changed. Because Absolution is the same, Aura Master is the same, Beacon is the same, Blessings are roughly the same, Cleanse is the same, and so on and so on. So, at first, Avenging Wrath. It reduced in healing, but it also added a increased critical strike chance during its duration, which is, I think, roughly the same output now as it was in Legion. Blessing of Sacrifice is slightly changed. I'm not sure if that is only a literal change or it's just written in other style than in Legion. So it now reduces the damage taken of the target by 30%, and then you suffer 75% of this damage. The next thing changed is Consecration, which is increased its duration by 4 seconds to 12 seconds. Divine Protection is reduced by 4 seconds, which is kinda doesn't really matter, I think. The next changed spell here is Holy Shock, which is now has only 25% additional critical strike chance. So it is nerfed by a lot of. Judgment now only increases the damage of your next Crusader Strike or Holy Shock. Before, in Legion, it was a buff which you received for 6 seconds after using your Judgment, which increased all of your Crusader Strikes and Holy Shock's damage. But now, only the next one. So most likely you will use Judgment and then Holy Shock for the huge increased damage. Leo Hands is the same, Light of Dawn is the same. The next one that is changed is Light of the Martyr, which does to you 10% more damage of the healing done than before. I think this is only a slight change, but during play and during Mythic Plus, it will be a much bigger effect when you have to save someone. And all the things are like the same, almost the same. The most important change is that the passive HP bonus from Righteousness is gone, and also your artifact ability is gone, so you can't find it here. In this way, you can build your Paladin in certain ways, as your talents can go. There can be a raiding, stacked AoE healing build. Then there should be a damage oriented, and there is a Mythic Plus fast running movement requiring stuff. So let's go and talk about the talents now. In the first row there is Crusader Might, Bestow Faith, and Lightshammer. Lightshammer is just the Paladin healing rain, essentially, with a damage component. It could be very useful on stacked AoE healing situations, which there will be pretty much in this expansion's first raid. So I think at raiding, if it is tuned well, so its healing is reasonable, then it should be a strong option. Bestow Fate is just the same as it was in Legion. It is a very good heal. You should apply it always to the tank, and after applying, after 5 seconds, the target will take a 2000 heal, which is pretty good. Crusader's Might is the DPS talent here. If you take this, then your Crusader Strike reduces the cooldown on Holy Shock and Light of Dawn, which increases your damage output by Holy Shock, and also the healing output by your Light of Dawn. So I think AoE stacked healing Light Hammer should be good. Most situations Beast of Fate is very good. And for damage, then there is Crusader's Might. On the 30 roll, there is Cavalier, Unbreakable Spirit, and Rule of Law. Rule of Law is just a flat range increase to your heals and your mastery, which is, I think, not bad. But Cavalier should be, I think, way better because you can cover huge distances with the double Divine Steed. And it is possible that your Rule of Law and Cavalier should interact that way that if there is a situation you should use Rule of Law because your targets are too far away, you should just use the double Divine Steed to cover the distance. So I think the Cavalier is a better option, but it is definitely strong arguments that say that Rule of Law is a good talent, or at least competitive. Unbreakable Spirit reduces the cooldown on your Divine Shield, Divine Protection, Lay on Hands. It should be used when there is needed that you need to have more frequent access to your defensive abilities. 45 roll, Fist of Justice, Repentance, and Binding Light. Binding Light is just the AoE Disorient, which is just for Mythic Plus mainly. Repentance is the 1 minute Incapacitate, just as it was before. And the Fist of Justice does that Judgment reduces the remaining cooldown on Hammer of Justice by 10 seconds. In this scenario, if you Hammer of Justice a target, and then you've got enough haste to cast 3 judgments under 30 seconds, then your Hammer of Justice will be reset every 30 seconds. So I think it is a very competitive talent for each and every scenario when there is a ad that could be stunned, because you can stun for 6 seconds every 30 seconds. If you're playing well, of course. Level 60 roll is the Aura roll. I think every Paladin knows how they work. Devotion Aura is the damage reduction, Aura of Sacrifice is also kind of damage reduction, and Aura of Mercy is a continued healing. 75 roll, Judgment of Light, Holy Avenger, and Holy Prism. I think Holy Prism right now is a very badly tuned ability. I don't think it is competitive in any way, shape, or form to Holy Avenger or Judgment of Light. But if numbers go up in terms of its healing, then Holy Prism can be as good as these two. Judgment of Light is just the talent that was in Legion, the same. It causes your judgment to apply a debuff to the target, and then the target will heal its attacker at every melee swing. So basically you have to apply judgment on cooldown to the boss or bosses or ads, and then their melee hit will heal the tank. So it is a passive, rather large heal. Holy Avenger is a very good 1.5 minute cooldown, which increases your haste and your Holy Shock healing by 30% for 20 seconds, which is huge. If you pair it up with Avenging Wrath, it enhances most of your secondary stats as well, and enhances your healing, haste, critical damage, and a lot of things. Then you will be a unstoppable healing or DPS kind of beast, I think. So it is, I think, a huge, very good cooldown. On the 90 row there is Sanctified Wrath, Avenging Crusader, and Awakening. Awakening is just the class-specific legendary from Legion, which is a rather bad legendary, so this is a rather bad talent in a role when there is too much better, or I say higher rated talents. Because Sanctified Wrath increases the Avenging Wrath duration by 25%, and the Holy Shock's cooldown is also reduced by 50%. So, you know, the interaction between the Judgment and the talent of Crusader's Might and, for example, the Holy Avenger, then if you choose Sanctified Wrath, it will be a... You could use Holy Shock to heal a lot more often. But if you need a DPS, then Avenging Crusader is the best choice in each and every situation. I think this should be a very good Mythic Plus DPS oriented talent setup, because if you choose Avenging Crusader, it replaces Avenging Wrath and you become the ultimate Crusader of Light, and it will increase your Crusader Strike, Judgment, and auto attack damage, and Crusader Strike and the Judgment cooldown faster, and they heal up to 3 nearby injured allies for 2500, 250% of the damage they dealt, and it lasts 20 seconds, which means that during Avenging Crusader you should DPS as much you can, and in the excess time you should use, as it is the remaining cooldown on Light of Dawn is 1.5 seconds reduced by this Crusader's Might talent, you should use Light of Dawn, then DPS with Crusader Strike and the Judgment and Holy Shock, then as soon as possible Crusader Strike or Judgment again as they cool down. If there is a place, just throw in an odd Light of Dawn, and there will be a good enough healing to top off the raid, or at least to hold the raid at the current HP percent. This is a very interesting talent right now in these with these current talents and numbers. And now the last role, Divine Purpose, Beacon of Fate, and Beacon of Virtue. Beacon of Virtue is the default choice for Mythic Plus, I think. It is very strong. Beacon of Fate is the default choice for a tank swap raid, when there is 2 tanks, so you can beacon both and heal each and every raid member, and the tanks receive healing as well. Divine Purpose is a little bit of weak right now, because the 20% chance is not that great according to these upgraded beacon versions. I think it will be replaced, or it will be switched with something like, I don't know, Light's Hammer or Holy Prism, because then that would make sense. But now I definitely recommend this for a DPS oriented instance healing. I recommend this for raid healing, or maybe with this kind of setup. If there is stacked healing needed, then you should try Light's Wrath, or if the numbers are good, then Holy Prism. I'm still not sure about it. But then you can also choose about Mercy, Devo, Aura, or Sacrifice. It is completely situational. So please feel free to try every single talent. I now decided to use this for instances. It is pretty good. I have no problem playing with it, and it is rather easy. Thanks for the watching, guys. I definitely can't show you now how it plays out, but I can show you that on cooldown you should Holy Shock, because it is cheap and it deals a huge amount of healing. Just the almost the highest amount of healing. In emergency, Flash of Light basically use Holy Light, and if it is SOS, then use Light of the Martyr, or if you have to heal during movement. But please note that you take loads of damage when you do use Light of the Martyr. So, and also in AoE situations you should use the Light of Dawn. Thanks for watching, guys, and please note that tomorrow there will be 2 episodes, Protection Paladins and Retribution Paladins, and we will also talk about the recent block change which happened just in like yesterday or so, and that changes a lot of things about Protection Warrior and Protection Paladins. So see you later, bye bye.